Modern cloud syncing is engineered to be invisible. You save a file on your laptop, and seconds later it quietly appears on your phone. You don't think about it at all until you hit a sync conflict, max out your storage limit, or realize you've accidentally exposed a sensitive folder to the entire internet. For a long time, picking a cloud drive was a simple math problem. You looked at who gave you the most terabytes for the lowest monthly price, and you signed up. That calculation has evolved. Choosing a provider today forces you to make specific decisions about your hardware ecosystem, how you share files with other people, and ultimately who holds the actual keys to your private data. Blindly accepting default cloud settings can be a costly habit. It often leaves you paying multiple subscriptions for redundant services while unintentionally exposing your digital life. Our objective today is to map your specific daily workflow to the exact right platform. We want to eliminate that overlap and lock down your files. This chart maps the major cloud players based on their true priorities. The horizontal axis measures your hardware ecosystem, from total lock-in to completely cross-platform. The vertical axis measures privacy, from the provider holding your encryption keys up to pure zero-knowledge encryption. When we plot Apple iCloud, Microsoft OneDrive, Google Drive, Dropbox, and Internext, a central trade-off emerges. Gaining frictionless, real-time collaboration with external teams almost always requires you to surrender absolute privacy. There is no universal best cloud drive on the market. There is only the optimal tool for the specific compromises you are willing to make. Let's start with the hardware you use every day. If you work on a Mac at home but use a Windows PC at the office, you already know how fragmented file management can feel. Dual platform setups naturally introduce friction. You deal with competing background apps, mismatched system settings, and file metadata that doesn't quite translate across the divide. If your top priority is seamless, invisible syncing, where you never have to think about saving or uploading, you must adopt a single platform environment. Mac users who stay entirely inside the Apple ecosystem get the benefits of flawless background delta syncing. iCloud integrates into the operating system at a level third-party apps simply cannot reach. Windows users get that exact same deep-level integration by sticking with OneDrive. The trade-off for this frictionless experience is severe ecosystem lock-in. Once you have terabytes of photos, documents, and backups deeply woven into iCloud or OneDrive, migrating your digital life to a competitor's hardware later on becomes an exhausting manual chore. Seamless background convenience demands absolute loyalty to a hardware brand. If your daily work requires collaborating externally with clients or colleagues running different operating systems, you have to step outside those native ecosystems. Standard sharing links are designed for speed. By default, they offer immediate access to a file without requiring a password or expiration date. But that lack of friction creates a permanent vulnerability. If a link to financials gets forwarded, unauthorized parties have instant access. Platforms like Google Drive and OneDrive offer heavy-duty alternatives. You can assign specific roles, block downloads, and lock documents behind a password. Using those granular permissions effectively requires strict administrative discipline. You have to remember to revoke access when a project ends. It also requires organizing your folders perfectly. If you drop a highly sensitive file into a parent folder that was broadly shared 6 months ago, that sensitive file automatically inherits those open permissions, exposing it instantly. High-security collaboration features are dangerous if you don't take time to manage your folder structures. Then there is the issue of privacy. The standard storage tiers for iCloud, Google Drive, and Dropbox all encrypt your data at rest, but standard encryption means the provider retains the keys to your files. They lock the door, but they keep a copy of the key on their servers. For the average consumer, this is a feature. If you forget your password, the company can verify your identity and recover your family photos. The trade-off is that because the provider holds the keys, your files can be accessed by employees, exposed during a breach, or handed to authorities. To avoid this risk, you need zero-knowledge encryption. Files are encrypted locally, meaning only your physical devices hold the keys. But true zero-knowledge has brutal trade-offs. If you lose your device and recovery key, Apple cannot help. Your data is permanently gone. Achieving true digital sovereignty requires taking absolute, unforgiving personal responsibility for your own data recovery. With those 3 pillars in mind, hardware, collaboration, and privacy, we can map your core priority directly to the platform you should be using. This flowchart breaks down your decision into 3 primary paths based on how you actually work. Route 1 is the Ecosystem Loyalist. If you use 2 Macs or 2 PCs and prioritize invisible background convenience above all else, stick to your native client. Pay the $9.99 a month for 2 terabytes of iCloud or OneDrive and enjoy the seamless experience. Route 2 is the cross-platform Collaborator. If your days are spent jumping between operating systems or heavily editing documents in real time with external teams, you must use Google Drive or Dropbox. You are actively trading pure privacy for a high-speed workflow. Route 3 is the Privacy Pragmatist. If you handle sensitive legal, medical, or financial data and refuse to let tech giants hold your keys, you need a default zero-knowledge provider like Internext. You sacrifice seamless collaboration to guarantee your sovereignty. But if you use iCloud, go into your iPhone settings today and manually enable advanced data protection to secure your files. Identifying your persona ensures you aren't fighting against the core design of your software. Your next step is to audit your digital life. Open your bank statements and look at your current cloud subscriptions. If you are paying for a massive Dropbox account while barely using the 2 terabytes of iCloud space you already pay for, pick one workflow and cancel the overlapping service. Stop wasting money on redundancy. If you plan to stick with your current provider, log into your dashboard today and check your default encryption and sharing settings. Optimizing your workflow certainly lowers your monthly overhead. It also achieves a much higher goal, the intentional selection of exactly who